Siya Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram Siya Ram, Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram Siya Ram, Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram Siya Ram, Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram Siya Ram.
अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We studied positive religion. That means you are using religion as a tool to achieve something in particular. We studied negative religion, when you're using religion to achieve something in particular, but not which is a purpose of religion. For instance, if you use a mixer to mix glue and sawdust, you could, but that's not its purpose. So when we use religion for a purpose that it is not designed for, that is when we are practicing negative religion. So what is the purpose of religion? To realize the self, to improve ourselves, self-development, to understand the truths of life. All these are the purposes of religion. What are not the purposes of religion? Going to ask for wealth, or going for emotional solace, or going for an emotional high. Sometimes people don't go for an emotional solace, they go for emotional high. You know, like when you do bhajans or something, it feels so nice, right? So normal life is so boring. Then you go to bhajans and you get an emotional high. So they go for emotional solace or emotional highs, or they go for information. Just what does the Upanishad say? What does the Bible say? What does the Quran say? What does Ashtavakra Gita say? When we tell people, restrict yourself to one book, they are horrified. Decide which book you're studying and study that one thoroughly. Study under One teacher. No, oh, they're all saying the same thing. If they're all saying the same thing, why are you going to so many? They're all, of course, saying the same thing. Nobody's saying different things. But you won't learn it like that. Just like you cannot learn mathematics by going to 5 different mathematics schools. You have to stick to your school. That doesn't mean the other schools are bad and terrible and useless. It just means you have to go through a structured, systematic attempt to do something. So when you approach religion with the wrong intentions in mind, this is negative religion. It's not recommended. And yet somehow it is recommended. Isn't it? If you are suffering anything, people will say, जाओ मंदिर में बैठो थोड़ी देर के लिए, आश्रम में जाओ, गंगा किनारे जाके बैठो. They'll recommend it. So if this is not religion, then why is it recommended?
Because at least you're thinking of God.
Very well. Because the role of religion is to make you think of God. So when you're not available to think of God per se, then they give God as the solution to all these issues and say, okay, never mind, yeah, soch to lo. If you can't do it the right way, do it the wrong way, but do it. This is symbolized very beautifully in a very famous story about the Ramayana. Do you know that? Do you know this about Valmiki? Valmiki was a murderer, a highway robber before he became the great Valmiki. So one day he met some sadhus who obviously he was intent firstly on killing, but the sadhus gave him some jnana, they gave him some knowledge, and asked him a very simple question really. That all this robbing, stealing, killing that you're doing, for whom are you doing? He said, for my wife and children. So they said, okay, go home, ask your wife and children. They are benefiting from the positive things that are coming, from the benefits of your bad behavior. Will they also take some of the papa karma of it, some of the papa of it? So he said, okay. See, these people who are of this, the intellectual levels are very low. And how can you can't be a murderer until your intellectual level is low, right? So criminals basically don't have much brains. So he went off wandering to his family and said, will you take the papa karma? They said, of course not. The benefits are ours, but the papa will be yours. Now, why does he have to go back and ask them? Anybody will know, right? Everybody will say, yeah, I'll take all your good stuff. Who wants your bad stuff? But he went and he asked them. And they said, no way. And then it struck him. Oh my God. Oh my God. So he went back to the sadhu and he said, what shall I do? Now remember, they're talking to a person whose head is not developed at all. So they said to him, do Ram Naam. Ram Naam ka jap kar lo. Do Ram, Ram, Ram. So he sat down. He couldn't do it. He couldn't say Ram. So again he went back to them. See, here is the difference between a student who is serious about what he's doing and a student who is not serious about what he's doing. The teacher has given an instruction. If the instruction cannot be followed, you have to go back to the person and say, look, I can't do this, whatever you've told me to do. Or this is a problem I'm facing when I'm doing it. So that's how a good patient for a doctor is also. If you get some negative thing, you don't stop your antibiotics. You go back to your doctor and you say, what shall I do? So a good student, someone who means business, goes back to the teacher and says, okay, you told me to do this. I'm not able to do it. What shall I do? So Valmiki, by that time, he is turned because this thing has hit him. And so he goes back to them and says, I'm not able to say Ram. So you know what his teacher told him to do? The sadhus told him to
Mara.
Yes. Say mara, 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 mara. You say mara, a negative word. It will become ram. Maram. Mara, 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 mara. Try it and see. Mara, 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 mara. It becomes ram. So in the same way, when you practice this negative religion, the hope is that one day you will come to positive religion. One day something will hit us and make us think. So never mind if you're doing it well, never mind if you're doing it badly, just keep doing it because it will become right. But still, as an education, you need to know that this is not what it is meant for. Then there are two things in today's life, besides this, which have become extremely popular. Instead of learning what is spiritual education, learning about it in a systematic, structured way, people want, what do they want nowadays? They want quick fixes. That's what he spoke about then. Another quick fix I notice nowadays in this world is these quotes. Just, I want to know a quote. I mean, you take one sentence out of some text somewhere, put your own meaning to it. Does this even work? And God alone knows what you are understanding from that quote. So this is all frightening. We desperately need structured, systematic education on this subject. Desperate. Right, so who will read the next paragraph? Oh, are there new people to the class today? Is there anyone new? Anyone who is coming to this class for the first time? I don't know who iPad is. Are you somebody new or old? Let's see. Most names I seem to know. Okay, so if you are new, this is the book we are studying, and we are on the topic use and abuse of religion. And what we do in this class is somebody reads the paragraph and summarizes it. That means you make the paragraph small. Sometimes people make it bigger. Don't make it bigger. Summarize. Say in the briefest possible words what you have understood from this. What is the point of it? Not what you have understood. What is the point of the paragraph? Right? So who will read? Sandeep, will you read? Sandeep? Okay. Prashant, will you read?
Okay, ma'am, I am starting.
Okay.
It was the present religious practice the world over are far removed from spiritual education. For generations, people have become averse to spiritual study and reflection. None realizes that human beings need specific direction in life and living. All other creatures have their respective instructions built into their lives by nature, with little choice to live apart from their built-in directives. Human beings then are left with the choice of action, either to get involved in the terrestrial or turn towards the transcendental. Again in the terrestrial field, what is to be done and what not. The same dilemma prevails in the spiritual arena as well. Is one to gain true spiritual knowledge through an authentic course of study and reflection, or blindly follow the senseless rituals and ceremonies imposed by religious fanatics? People are totally lost, adhering to some blind faith, sheer superstition, or routine ritual. These are purposeless practice maintained by spiritually illiterate masses. Apart from these, two other fads have been spreading the world over in the name of religion: yoga, asana, physical exercise, and meditation. These are viruses that have killed the spirit of religion.
Now, will you summarize?
Yeah, if you want, whatever I have understood from this is, see, we human being needs instruction. Otherwise, whatever instruction we are getting from fake people, you do this, some rituals. They sit in front of, I mean, whatever God you believe, 4 hours, 5 hours, and automatically you will get this direction. No, this is not true in the sense. And otherwise, apart from that, the last line also, two other fads have been spreading the world over the name of religion. Religion ka naam mein they are saying yoga, asana, physical exercise, and meditation. These are actually they have said these are viruses that kill the spirit of religion. Although I do not agree 100% with it, because meditation, in my opinion, meditation and this yoga or asana, this is also another way to reach God or superpower, whatever you say.
Okay.
This is
No
my
problem.
opinion.
Yeah, no problem. In Vedanta, we have all opinions are welcome. But what we need to understand is how are we going to, on what basis are these? The important thing in life is not what opinion you hold, but why you hold that opinion. So he has told us very dramatic statement, right? These are viruses killing religion. So now he is called upon to explain to us why would he make a statement so dramatic as that, and one hopes that he will tell us the answer to this. But this is just like a little drama that happened. But good, you summarized the paragraph fairly well. So what is the paragraph saying? That there are that human beings have a choice. Okay, animals don't have a choice. We have a choice. Animals have a built-in set of instructions, and we don't have that. Built-in set of instructions means what? A tiger knows exactly what he's going to eat. Do human beings know what they have to eat? No. One day they want guacamole. One day they want every day a new idea. Millets have become very popular. Every day they have a different idea of what we should be eating. Why do we have this? Because we have a choice. Does a cow get a choice? No. The cow knows exactly what to eat, and it will eat only that. A tiger knows exactly what to eat, and it will eat only that. A human being has no idea what to eat because
We have choices.
Because we have a choice.
Choice of action.
We have this choice. Now, the same problem exists in the spiritual world. Just as we have all the choices of the world in the material world, we have all the choices of the world in the spiritual world. So, what are our choices? What did he say? That one is you try and understand the spiritual knowledge. You try to figure out what is going on. Or you fall for just blind beliefs, blind rituals. Now, does it mean that he's saying that that doing rituals is wrong? Is that what he's saying? That's not what he's saying. What is he saying?
In the name
blind, senseless.
Blind. In the name of religion, doing something blindly, without asking any question.
So, very good. What is blindly?
Rituals, ceremonies.
What does the word blindly mean? When you're doing it blindly,
without knowing anything. Just I was told to do this, just like a tiger or cow. I was told to eat this, I'll eat it without asking any question.
Very good. Without asking any questions, without understanding what am I doing this for. Okay, so the ritual is not at fault. The fault is the blindness in that ritual. The fact that you have no idea for what you're doing. That's the problem with it. Like it's like brushing. Brushing is a ritual. if imagine somebody is brushing all the time, but they have no idea what they're doing it for. So they just do it at a random time, anytime. Karna hai na, to karenge. But when your teeth are dirty, when there's food in your mouth, that is the time you will brush, no? अभी मुझे बोला था कि दिन में 3 बार ब्रशिंग करनी है, तो मैं 3 बार एक ही टाइम कर देता हूँ. अरे but how does that help? You can't do brush, wash, brush, wash. ये कैसे चलेगी? Why do we do silly things? Because it may be blind. I don't know why I'm doing it. If I don't know why I'm brushing to keep my teeth clean so that I don't develop cavities and other ailments. If I've understood this, then I understand that what am I basically doing after my food? When I get up, whenever I feel it needs cleanliness, I give it cleanliness. What is the point? 3 times, one after the other, I brush my teeth. Right? Exactly the same thing in religious practices. When they are blind, we don't know what we're doing it for. But this is the choice in front of us. Either educate yourself on what's happening or do it blindly. When you do it blindly, what all do you have? You have rituals, you have beliefs, you have faith. Many faith, many people say this, it's my faith. And then everybody else has to shut up because what can we say? It's your faith. But the fact is that it is a faith that has had no analysis, no reason, no education at the bottom of it. And this is not going to happen. And now there's another 2 things that have got added in this world. One is yoga, one is meditation. Everybody is doing yoga blindly. Meaning what? We are not able to distinguish what is its purpose, what are you doing it for? Nothing. Or you use it for the wrong thing. I build my body nicely with doing yoga and think I'm religious. No. Anyway, why these 2 are not applied properly, he will tell us. But what he's trying to drive home is we are doing things without understanding what we are doing. And therefore, our choices are not enlightened choices. Every human being has a choice. We are born with it. But every human being doesn't have dash choice. What is that dash?
Specific.
Doesn't have?
Specific. No.
Doesn't have?
Intellectual
Reason.
choice.
Reason.
They just said no. So sad it is.
Enlightened choice.
Enlightened choice. I said, every being, you must have enlightened choice. Every human being has a choice. But every human being doesn't have dash choice. What is the answer?
Enlightened choice, as you have said.
Choice. Yeah, so simple. I thought everybody will tell me because they are with me and they are following the flow of thought. But then I have to just do boo, boo, hoo. Nobody is following the flow of thought. Okay, we don't have enlightened choice, or as Deepraj likes to put it, educated choice. Our choice is not based on good reason. Choice we have. That is our birthright. Where effort is required is to make it an enlightened choice, a choice that is based on good reason and good sense. That's where we are failing. Omkar, is that you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Janti, we just discussed the example of Vadya, who later became Valmiki, that he won the instruction of Mara, 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 because he could not even relate to the concept of God. In the same argument, all these religious practices, which seem to be senseless, are probably, I mean, in the context of the people who cannot think of God or who cannot even reason, these practices make sense. It's only when the so-called intellectuals think about it, they come across as senseless. So to brand them senseless across the board doesn't seem to be sensible.
What does anyone want to react to what Omkar said? Because we already covered this point, so he didn't listen. Did anybody else hear it? Listening is the first art you have to learn in Vedanta. You need not agree. Like how Sandeep said, this is what it says, but I don't agree. That's fine. You may agree or you may not agree. That is your prerogative. But that you listen carefully is a requirement from you. You may hear it and say, no, this is nonsense. Deepraj says, I didn't understand what Omkar said. Because Deepraj, you weren't listening. Nobody is listening to anybody speaking. Acha, mind you all don't listen. At least listen to what Omkar says. Nobody's listening to anybody nowadays. Do you realize? I feel like this is a pandemic going on where nobody listens to anyone. I hear people talking. Just talking. Okay? Conversation also is one person is talking, one person is talking. Who is listening? It's a real pandemic in the world today. Nobody knows how to listen. Okay, how many people can merely repeat what Omkar just said?
Is it because that's not an educated choice? It's not an enlightened decision.
No, just repeat what Omkar said.
Because it was said earlier that gave the instance of Valmiki, because he couldn't think of God directly. It was said that he would say Ram, 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 the other way around.
Mara.
Yeah, Mara, Mara, sorry. Mara, Mara, and then it would be Ram. So he says that in the similar way, there would be a lot of people not really able to relate to God, and hence they use this means to achieve the same purpose, to remember God. So it's wrong to say that these are senseless way of doing it, and so I mean they also should be given that let them have that choice of approaching God the way that they wanted, and they would reach that end of self-realization or understanding God, because they can't go through the straight path.
Okay. So Omkar, do you accept what Aparna says? You say yes or no? Did you hear her now? This is very sad in life. Omkar, yes or no? Do you agree with it? Because if you feel you agree, then say so. And then we will tell Deepraj whatever you have said.
No, most part of what Aparna said, I agree with. It's just the last part is her addition, which is that people should be given the choice based on where they are. I did not allude to that. Yeah, so the rest of it.
So tell Deepraj, he's still. So you are saying everything she said was correct,
correct.
except that
Excepting
there was
the last part.
A choice. So what did you say instead? Now
So
let's see whether you
yeah, so my argument is that we are talking about senseless practices.
Very good.
And practices are
don't take the argument
designed to cater
it's not
to different kinds
so
of
it is
people.
not senseless, it is sensible. Don't take time
Why
over
would
it,
we call them senseless?
Yes, so don't take time over it, everybody. You have to also learn to be quick. One of the things about this IQ tests that go on, those tests are really quite easy. Anybody can do them. Then how do they count as an IQ test? Mainly on speed. How fast can you do this? So really in class, we all have to be able to say whatever we want to fast. Not fast as in, not fast like that, but say it in the briefest possible ways.
Concise.
Concise, correct. Okay? Because this is all the training that you're getting from Vedanta, or you should be getting from Vedanta. I don't see any of this happening, but that's probably because you have a bad teacher. But the precision is the first thing. Analytical nature, precision, seeing big picture. I shouldn't say that's first. First is listening. Second is questioning. Is it so? Instead of saying, I agree, I don't agree. Is it so? If you claim it is so, why do you think it is so? Right? Because my view is already known to me. But if you have a different view, I must find out why did you think so? So, too many different points, right? Let's get back to our point. What was our point? Omkar argues that saying that these rituals are senseless is not so, because just as Mara became Ram, these senseless rituals will become sensible. Is that correct, Omkar?
Yeah.
Omkar?
Will become sensible, I'm not too sure.
Are sensible, chalo.
Are sensible for them at where they are.
Okay. Right. Okay, fine. Okay. Are you okay with this much, Deepraj? Okay, very good. Chalo. Now let's go forward. Now tell, this was already addressed. Now, does anybody remember how this was addressed earlier?
With purpose added to it again.
No. The reason the Mara example was given was to say that this is so. You have just flipped this whole thing. The reason why did the Mara example come when saying that negative religion is called negative religion and is still recommended? Remember, it's still recommended.
Yeah.
Why is it recommended? Because at least it's making you think of God.
They are doing at least something which is better than nothing.
Yes, something is there. Something means whatever they are doing, the thought of God is there. The purpose of religion is to put the thought of God somehow into us. The thought of God is there. So why do you play holy? Thought of God. Why do you have Diwali? Thought of God. Why do you do daily prayers? Thought of God. Why do you have to pray 5 times a day? Thought of God. Religion just wants to put the thought of God into you. So that much it is accomplishing. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Omkar? Omkar, so far so good? Right. Now, having said why it has some use, we went
Yes.
on to talk about why it is useless. We have accepted that use. However, don't be satisfied with that use, because that is like, I don't know, it is like, okay, chalo, it's a good first step. Now move on. Now you start thinking about what are you going to do? Why are you going to do? You've now come to Vedanta. You better move forward, because just saying name of God is good. It's very good. But now please understand the whole purpose of it, all of life, what is going on. All right. So we've moved forward from them. He has called it negative religion. Religion is the noun, negative is the adjective. He's accepted it as religion. Otherwise, he would say this is not religion. He's calling it negative religion. Please pay attention. Negative religion implies that it is
Religion.
religion. Correct? So listen carefully. You are, imagine Vedanta is like brain surgery, okay? You're going very, very carefully through something. Now, I do know in class a lot of explanation is given and that precision has to be reduced. But, if we keep it too precise, nobody gets it. And if we make it too explanatory, nobody gets it. So I'm at a loss now. I don't know what to do. Until you get a better teacher, you just have to put up with this. Tough luck to you. Can't help you there. So, all right. Are you okay, Omkar? As a first step, it's okay. But now you have to understand its limitation.
Yeah, that's where my argument is.
Okay.
You're calling it senseless, and not calling it the first step, which is a sensible first step probably for a lot of them.
What does the word senseless mean?
In this context, I think it means that your purpose of doing all these practices is to think of God, but you get stuck in those practices and don't go forward. Is
The
that
word
correct?
senseless means that
With-
your intellect has not been applied. So it's a perfect word. That's what the word senseless means. And that is exactly his point. This is senseless. No intellect has been applied.
Acting on mind.
No intellect has been applied. Could be mind, could be conditioning, could be anything. But no intellect has been applied. So the perfect word. That's exactly his point. You have decided senseless is this and that and all. Go by the word. What is the word senseless? No sense. What is sense? Intellect. No intellect. Simple. Do not complicate life.
senseless also means doing something which will not achieve its objective.
Senseless
No?
means intellect not applied. That's what the word
Okay.
means. You put your own meaning and then you argue. It's like calling a dog mad and killing it. It is used in the sense of intellect not applied, which is what is its meaning in Vedanta. If you were in the how do you know what you know class, this would have been called an example of
Word usage.
yes, correct. You got the concept right. Do you remember the word? I'm not going to tell you. So don't look at me. I cannot be doing how do you know what you know in the middle of Vedanta tree. So go look it up. Everybody go look it up. What is the word?
Colored.
Colored. Shall I give you the example we did? All those who are not familiar, there's another book which we have finished doing called How Do You Know What You Know, where we study how to think. I think that should be like a entrance test. If you can, shall we do that for anyone wants to attend class? We should have an entrance test, and you have to know how do you know what you know. Then you can enter. As it is, nobody comes to class now. We completely closed down the class like that. I'll be on chutti after that. So, anyone remembers the term? Because I ain't telling you. You've done it 1 million times already. Then look it up because you'll probably remember it more if you look it up than if I were to tell you now. Right. Is this paragraph clear? That all sorts of things are done senselessly, meaning that, another word,
Without
No
intellect.
intellect.
no intellect. The word he has used is,
Senseless.
Senseless.
yes, the other word he has used is, are you raising your hand to ask another question? Okay, first you
Yes.
answer my question. The other word is, very funny. You don't answer my questions. I'm supposed to answer your questions. Is that fair?
Blindly.
Blind. If I have to answer your questions, then you have to answer mine, right? Fair, no? Okay, go ahead, Omkar.
If
For
I
all
get-
those who come first time to this class, they are going to be thinking, "Pata nahi ye log kar kya rahe hain yahan pe?" Yes, Omkar, go ahead.
this particular line is one to gain true spiritual knowledge through an authentic course of study and reflection, or blindly follow the senseless rituals and ceremonies imposed by religious fanatics. Here he is giving it more as like a either or like a choice rather than a progression. And that's where I'm getting confusion.
It's
So for
not a
example,
progression from fanaticism to good
so
sense.
those people who are not, let's say, uh, designed to think intellectually, I don't know what's the other word for it, but those who are incapable at all of thinking things through, for them, this kind of an activity is a sensible activity, right? Because they're not.
And then what do? They pick up a machine gun and kill people.
Yeah, that's the other extreme. Yes.
That is the consequence. That's why the example was given of brushing your teeth. Na? If you don't know why you're brushing your teeth and you've been told brush 3.
Okay, I thought he was alluding more to practices. Hello.
Janki ji, you are muted.
Yes, the screen is frozen. I think in the meantime, I'll put up the paragraph again. Second video.
Hmm.
Sandeep ji, can you mute yourself?
Sure.
There's a lot of background. I'll call up Janki ji and ask about something. Viparaj, are you able to talk now? I mean, maybe we can utilize this time.
Sorry, what you said, Omkar?
I was saying if Viparaj or anybody wants to discuss
We
this.
can continue. We can discuss this point.
Yeah.
Janki ji asked.
Janki ji is back.
I am very sorry, electricity seems to be gone. Omkar, yours isn't gone?
No.
Oh, okay, so only in our building maybe. So sorry. Right. So what were you all discussing?
No, I put up the paragraph again, and if I can do that once more. We were discussing the fact that my argument is that, particularly with regard to this line, just 1 second, which says, is one to gain true spiritual knowledge through an authentic course of study and reflection, or blindly follow the senseless rituals and ceremonies imposed by religious fanatics? And my argument was that this seems like an either or, and not really a progression. And you were explaining this when he got logged off.
And how much did you hear?
No idea, Janki. You were saying something, but it was coming to me garbled.
Okay. So the consequence of not understanding something, becoming fanatical and not understanding it, having a lot of faith but no understanding is fanaticism. Right? What is the consequence of that? That you do mad acts, such as the most common one today, which is you go start killing people. In the name of religion, you're killing people. Which is weird, right? I mean, which religion will tell you to go kill all sorts of people just like that? So, to elaborate that was the example of brushing your teeth. Suppose you're following brushing your teeth as a mechanical and senseless ritual, and you have been told you to brush your teeth 3 times a day. Then at any random time, you will brush your teeth and you'll do it 3 times. And you'll say, see, I was told to do it 3 times a day, and I've done it 3 times a day. Because you've not understood what you're doing it for. That means there's no application of the intellect, and therefore there'll be mad actions.
But that's where my argument is, Janki, that most are incapable of engaging the intellect.
So
why
what?
why should they?
Okay,
I
if
think
you
I'm getting your
recommend
point.
it, then that's fine. I mean, that's your view, then that's fine. Yeah, let these people who are incapable of thinking become fanatics. Okay, fine. अब मैं क्या बोलूं इसके ऊपर?
So Janki ji, his point is Mara is also senseless, in short. Right?
Yes,
No?
that we've already covered. We've already covered that it is. Remember, the example of Mara was given to cover this point.
So
That
that is also
doesn't mean,
senseless.
no, that is, yes, it's okay to do something wrong because at least you're thinking of God. Therefore, it's accepted as religion. But with the iota of brains, please get on with it now. The reason Mara was given to him is because he needed a bridge from his condition to saying Ram. So he gives him a bridge. Now, if you stay on the bridge, it's not suiting your purpose. If you are on the right road, but if you just sit there, you won't get to your destination. So you have to understand what is a bridge. A bridge is fine. Many times we need to take a bridge, which is good, fine, but get to that point. At the moment, the situation is nobody thinks there's anything else to get to. This is the situation. But if you think, no, they should do that, then do it. मैं क्या करूँ? Fine, up to you. We will always want people to be more educated. And your point is, no, they're not. Okay, so अब मैं क्या बोलूँ उसके? Okay, fine, they're not correct. And so they will do their solutions until life beats them into sense. There are only 2 ways a person can learn. Either he's beaten into sense by experiences, or he is led to sense by knowledge. And anyone with any heart would like people to be led to sense with knowledge, because the other way is very, very painful. It's like you take drugs, get the experience of what they're doing to your life, and then go into rehab, and then stop taking drugs. Instead of doing all this, educate yourself on what drugs will do and make an enlightened choice about whether you wish to do it or don't wish to do it. This is a recommended thing. Now, if you're saying, yeah, other people do it, so yeah, they do it. So now what to say? That's true, they do it. Nobody follows the right method. Therefore, they get into pain and problems and situations. And we'd love to prevent it. Whole of Vedanta is only prevent. Just prevent problems. Don't try to solve problems. Like my father-in-law liked to say. What is this famous thing he used to always say? My husband keeps quoting it. He says, absence of body is better than presence of mind. You need presence of mind when you're in a problem and quickly you have to come up with a solution. Absence of body means that you are not there only. And so you've not created the problem. So you don't need any presence of mind. So absence of body is better than presence of mind. If you have not created the problem, you don't need to solve it. Okay, so momita, senseless. The error arose from language, but from relevance, not word usage, but seeing the point. Relevance of the issue. No, not that one, momita. Go back, open the book, look again. It arises from, I'm going to tell you, but I've said 100 times. Open the book, everybody. Go look at it. Nobody will open the book. काम तो किसी को करना है नहीं. No, you tell me. When I was a young girl, my father was very, very good at English. He used to work on not a lot, but when he was studying to be a barrister, he was in London, and on London he was on the English stage and or BBC and all of that. And he used to work with our famous Sir Laurence Olivier. He used to be in dramas. So he's extremely good in English. I mean, he was really very good. He could quote in his 80s and up to 90, he could quote all his Shakespeare, and he's extremely good. Okay, as a young child, I knew my father knew the meanings of all the words. So whenever I came across a word that I didn't know the meaning of, I would go to him and say, what does this word mean? To which he would say, do I look like a walking, talking dictionary to you? Go open the dictionary. Which I thought used to be very, very bad of him, and he would not answer my question, and was very mean of him that you know the answer, then you must tell me. And over the years, I realized that really telling people is no good. Let them find it themselves. Because the effort we put in finding it is what helps us remember what their answer was. He can tell me very easily what the meaning of the word was. And then sometimes I wouldn't look it up. He knows I don't know. I know I don't know. He knows I'm not going to open the dictionary. So because he's a father, naturally he wants me to know. Then he would open the dictionary and say, okay, read it now. So, yeah, he tried to be strict, but he had a very lazy daughter. So what to do? Now, go look it. Basically, go look it up. What is that word? What is that thing we do with the word when we use the same word in two different senses? Remember the example we studied for it? Does anyone remember the example we studied using the same word in two different senses?
That's word usage only.
That is word usage, but what is the fallacy called? Not yet. I'll tell you one example of it. Yes, you can use a homily that way. The other, remember the best example, easiest to remember is the one which said, Mary had a little lamb. Remember that one? Mary had a little lamb. Or then Mary had a little lamb and then she ate her vegetables. Very good. Finally, somebody got it. Anyway, we're not doing that at the moment. We're doing this. Right. So let's go to the next. Now, remember where he stopped us. He made this dramatic statement. These are the viruses that have killed the spirit of religion. Anybody who loves yoga will come up in arms. Nobody will say, why do you say this? What's your reason for saying this? Right? So let's see. Does he have any reason for making the statements that he has made? Very dramatic statement. I mean, the first time you read it, oh my God, what is he saying? Like Sandeep said, what? I can't agree with this. Correct. That means he's understanding what he's saying. He's reacting to it. And of course, how can you agree with this? So now let us see Does he have any reason for making this statement or what? Who will read the next paragraph? Let's see. Who has not read for a very long time? Prashant. You want to read, Prashant?
Okay. These two faddish practices are simple and easy for teachers to communicate and masses to follow. That makes them even more popular. In sheer ignorance, people take to these practices through hereditary or peer pressure. They lack the intellect to steer themselves away from these pressures and observe a disciplined, methodic procedure for their spiritual evolution. Here, the intellect is stressed. Use of intellect for those faddish practices, as it was already discussed.
So, what is the point he's making? Why?
That
The
that
additional
fad,
point he's making.
I mean, they don't have the intellect to steer themselves.
Correct. But what is the additional point? That senseless blind he's already said. What is the additional point he's made?
Discipline and methodic procedure.
Okay. So the point he's trying to say is why have they become so popular? For two reasons. All of them. Because they're simple. You tell a person, turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left, take the head up, take the head down. Easy, It's not very lie down on your stomach, pick up your right leg, pick up your left leg. Easy to practice. They're easy to practice, they're easy to teach. So they become extremely popular. You have a World Yoga Day. The whole world can do this. Regardless of any other capacity you have, you don't have. It's so big, yoga. Can you ever imagine a World Vedanta Day? 99% of people will not be able to relate what is Vedanta and why are we bothered about it. Now I can see Jayashree has got one, that symbol of that light bulb striking. Now she will try. Go to Modi and say, why are we not having a World Vedanta Day? I'm sure that's in your mind that we should now have World Vedanta Day. Correct? Yes, definitely that bulb comes on. So, why is that so? Because anybody can do yoga. It's easy enough. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach. And about the others, why do we do it? Remember, we're still on pursuing religion for wealth and solace and information. Why do we do it? Because it's hereditary. If my parents did it in a particular way, if my grandfather did it in a particular way, it's hereditary. It's come down to me. Or all my friends are doing it. Like in Mumbai, everybody from every religion nowadays keeps Ganesha in the house. This has become a city of Ganesha. I'm not against it. Okay, please, I'm not against having a Ganesha in the house. Great if you have it. But the point I'm making is, it's now become something aspirational for everybody. Ganesha aa raha hai, to hum log bhi Ganesha ghar le aayenge. But why? Why are we bringing Ganesha home? That is not of importance. Sab kar le, hum bhi kar rahe. Everybody is going to Hawaii. I will also go to Hawaii. Everybody is buying a car. I will also buy a car. Everybody is getting Ganesha home. I will also get Ganesha home. I'm influenced by my peer group. Instead of figuring out why are we doing this? What is the best way of doing it? And will I achieve whatever it is I wish to achieve? No, Ganesha घर आएंगे तो फिर समृद्धि होगी घर में, problems नहीं होंगे. That's not the reason. Yes, Nitin?
Yeah, ma'am. So my question is like when we say that yoga and this thing is not spiritual, but like what if I'm reading the book, it's not getting any kind of benefit. There are so many scriptures just we kept it in the libraries. But through yoga and meditation and all, if someone is feeling good and maybe he's connect yeah, connecting more with the spirituality and all. So what's wrong in that? Instead of reading a Vedanta book, if I feel more good by doing the yoga and meditation, and I can connect more to the spirituality, so which is a better. Even Vivekananda told that, like, if you are like reading a Gita, then if doing the football is more good for you than reading the Gita. You can learn a lot in the ground. Yeah. So my question is like, yeah, so why it is so? It's written like that. It's not a foolish
Okay,
practice and
so
all.
then my question to you is then why yoga and meditation? Why not football? Why not just go to work?
No,
You learn from
it can be
everything,
any
right?
practice. No, it can be any practice, not only the yoga and
No,
meditation.
go to work.
Oh,
Can't you learn a lot by simply going to work?
yeah, that is there.
Then,
Yeah, work is also there.
then
But like the kind of benefits people are having from yoga and this thing, meditation and all, it's enormous.
this is all kahi suni baatein.
No, I practice myself. Yeah, I practice myself. I do it regularly.
Wait. Please understand. Obviously, there are many benefits of yoga. Okay, you will have all sorts of studies showing you how many benefits have come. But are we discussing that? Your health problems will be taken care of. You had a heart problem that is dealt with, whatever. But is that our point? We're talking about religion here. You cannot do something to your physical body so that your spiritual status goes up. For the simple reason, as anybody in this class, I hope, will be able to tell us, why can't you do anything to your body to raise your spiritual status?
Laws cannot
Gross cannot
Gross.
influence
Very
Yes,
good.
gross
The
cannot
whole
affect
class.
subtle.
Yes.
subtle.
The gross cannot affect the subtle. That is the law of life. If I put a person in prison, the prison bars can hold the body of that person, but his mind is always free to roam. That means that the gross bars, a physical object, cannot control the mind. So similarly, anything, any gross thing cannot have an effect on a subtle thing. Like water cannot wet space. Water can wet ground, but it cannot, because space is subtle. It cannot wet it, right? So it's a law, it's an eternal law that the gross cannot affect the subtle. Therefore, any action undertaken cannot affect your spiritual status. And think about it for this week. And if you still have a question, we can take it up next time since we have finished our time this time. Okay. So thank you.